Listen up.
Welcome back to the Jake Asman Show. Time now for some quick hits.
You gotta move quickly.
There's no time. Move fast there. Come on. And here we go on a Wednesday installment of America's favorite sports talk radio segment. It is time for quick hits right here on the Jake Asman Show. Wait, quick hits? Yes. If you're listening, no, you did not skip ahead. No, this is not yesterday's show. This is live on a Wednesday morning, 9:40 a.m. Eastern. We are doing quick hits early because we have not one, but two big-name guests joining us in the second hour. So we're doing quick hits this time so we could maximize the magic of UFC and SportsCenter anchor Michael Eaves at 10:12 Eastern and at 10:40 Eastern, Dodgers announcer Tim Neverett. So two big guests in hour two, which is why Ron Quick Hits is in hour one.
Well, you should also we should warn the people, don't adjust your clocks either.
That's right.
Your clocks are fine.
Everything is normal.
Yeah.
We're just doing this early.
We move things around. We make mountains move.
We do. Now, when did you know we were doing the segment early? Did you check the rundown this morning and did you think it was a typo that you saw?
I actually knew before you wrote the rundown. So that's how in tuned I was.
Wow. That's great producing right there. Love it. Anyhow, yes, quick hits is early. We are indeed doing it an hour earlier than normal. Or not. It depends on the
half hour.
Half hour, yeah.
Or an hour. It all depends.
Depends on the guest schedule.
Depends when you guys tune in.
But the quick hits.
What you know, quick hits. And it used to only be a half hour.
And now?
Now it's an hour.
Yeah.
Except those rare occasions.
It all depends on what we have going on.
You know what? I mean, be honest with you, quick hits has a mind of its own.
We just do a quick hits once.
Yeah.
Basically.
I mean, it could be in the first segment.
You got to stay.
We never know.
You got to stay ready. You got to be tuning in at all times to the Jake Asman Show. There's no doubt. We begin quick hits by talking more about the match, not the asinine cryptic comments made by Aaron Rodgers, but how about Tom Brady taking some shots at Aaron Rodgers? This was a little pregame Jeopardy that TNT did with Brady, Rodgers, Bryson DeChambeau, Phil Mickelson, and take a listen to this little shotski here from Tom Brady to Aaron Rodgers.
He's an NBA owner, a self-taught guitarist, and has guest starred in both The Office and Game of Thrones.
He's unhappy with his boss and has no options. Who is Aaron Rodgers?
Ding, ding, that is correct. Well done.
Projection, Tom. I never said I'm unhappy with my boss.
I said it, not you.
That was, I guess, one of the highlights. Let's be honest, though. This whole thing was so boring. Couldn't have been more boring. Bryson DeChambeau, I mean, does he know how to emote? Probably not. He might be a robot. Anyhow, we have more shots from Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. This was Brady taking another one at the, quote, leader of the Packers.
I'm studying my competition. Look, I'm 30 yards away from Aaron, who's, the leader of the Packers, I think. So I'm just watching his mannerisms. I'm studying. I'm recruiting a little bit.
Brady, way funnier than Rodgers. Phil, way funnier than DeChambeau. Those are my only real takeaways.
You know what the problem is? Okay. Compared to the match last year, right? I mean, it came at a perfect time because we were starting for sports.
We had nothing.
But it was on a weekend, right? So that was one plus.
And Tiger was playing.
But you had two natural rivals. You had Phil and Tiger. That's a rivalry that we all know. You kind of grew up with. We all know the rivalry between Tiger and Phil. Then on the other side, you had another rival. Books have been written about the Manning-Brady rival.
And Peyton is funny. Like
Peyton is amusing.
Peyton's not athlete funny. He is a genuinely funny
person. He
made
Brady look dull.
Exactly. And Tom has a personality. But Peyton Manning is genuinely funny. Like, he's hosted SNL and did a great job.
But you're coming out with this. You're coming out saying, this one, Brady was the humor of all this, all the foursome that was there, and he was the dull one last year.
Right.
So, I mean, you're already, this is, I don't know. And just the fact that it was it feels like a random Tuesday afternoon, like, hey, you know what? Trying to sync up all the schedules because, Phil and Bryson are getting on planes probably today heading to Scotland. Where's the Open this year?
I have no idea.
It's somewhere over there.
You know where it is. Over there.
It's over there. It's across the pond, as they say.
Evan Wagner writes in, That was the most boring event I have ever watched. I didn't even watch it. I had
Evan,
it on.
that's on you. You watched it. You tuned in.
Exactly. Now I see Joey B writes in, "Good morning, Jake and Ron from Colorado." Excuse me. And he goes, "Charles Barkley's I saw some Cougars last night" comment was the highlight of the telecast. Well, speaking of the devil, if you were watching the match, Charles Barkley remains an absolute national treasure.
Charles is a bear.
Wow.
Packers don't like bears. Just off the 11th green. Look at that, man.
Saw a couple of Cougars last night.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, in the wild.
Yeah, Olivia and Sarah and Annie. All kind of wild animals up here.
He's the best. Barkley's the best.
He would own Montana.
Charles Barkley is he's the best.
Is there, I mean, as one celebrity kind of catapulted themselves to like American icon faster than Barkley does?
I mean, in a society where everyone's trying to cancel everybody now, you can't cancel that, man.
No. I mean, he's had bad publicity.
And people don't care.
And we don't care about it
because
anymore.
He's authentic to himself.
Yep.
Like he is who he is. You're not going to change Charles Barkley.
God, I got to find it again because I didn't get to see the whole thing. But TNT had on this. It was almost like the history of NBA on TNT.
I saw part of that.
It was one of those things where, because I wake up early.
They did like a documentary on the history of inside the NBA.
Yeah, and I wake up too early, for human purposes, but I was I could not turn away from it, and finally I forced myself to turn the TV off. I was like, I got to go to bed because I can sit here and watch the rest of this right now.
It's you could check it out on demand.
I know, that's what I got to do because there are so many fascinating stories, one right after the other, and it all pretty much centered around Charles Barkley, the antics that he just brings to that show.
He's the man.
It's fantastic.
I love the Chuckster. So Barkley tried to save the broadcast, but
even that's too tall of a man of his stature.
Not easy to save. Not easy to save at all. Let's talk some hockey now, shall we? Speaking of hockey, Chuck does love himself some NHL hockey. So Barkley, a big NHL fan. Game 5, Stanley Cup Final tonight in Tampa. Montreal won in overtime in Game 4 to force a Game 5. They're still trailing in the series, obviously, down 3-1. Lightning are at home. John Cooper, their head coach, says, hey, we're going to be ready to play tonight.
I heard guys talk about it, like sweeping the team's hard to do. It's hard enough just to beat a team, let alone to take them out in 4 and win the Stanley Cup Final. Like those are rare that happens. And like I said, teams don't fluke their way to the final. It's 2 good hockey teams playing each other, and the series was meant to go more than 4 games. Guys understand that, but I know that they'll. You can see this even this morning. There's a focus group. They'll be ready tomorrow.
I really think Tampa wins tonight. I would love to be wrong, though. I would love to be wrong. I would love to see the Canadians, after the Tampa Bay mayor talked about how she wants to see the team win at home. I would love to see the Lightning fan have to sweat it out and go back to Montreal for a Game 6. And then you win Game 6 at home, Montreal. Well, anything could happen in a Game 7. And the pressure that'd be on Tampa to not blow a 3-0 lead. They better win tonight if you're the Lightning. Win tonight and don't even have to worry about a Game 6. Don't even have to worry about going through customs again.
And you get to fulfill the mayor's wishes.
Which I would hate to see. But
yeah. But if you sit back and think about it, if the Canadians win tonight, are the Lightning in trouble? I mean, I know they're too good of a team not to be, but then you're giving the Canadians all the momentum. You're going back to Canada where, like you said, you got to go through customs. You got to get frisked. Probably got to do 1,000 tests before you can even set foot in Canada. Maybe you're not even allowed back in Canada. I don't know. But, I mean, I don't know if Canadians can pull it off.
I think the Tampa Bay Lightning will win, but I'd love to be wrong here. There's no doubt. To baseball we go. I mean, could it get any worse for the Chicago Cubs?
Bryce Harper crushes one out toward right field. Winkler looking back, and it is gone.
So much for that RBI on the road thing.
A 3-run home run, and he is exploding with runners in scoring position tonight.
Bryce Harper having a big-time season, had a big-time game last night. 5 hits and 4 RBIs. 3 of them came on that swing that you just heard there on NBC Sports Philadelphia. Phillies beat the Cubs 15-10. Chicago's lost 11 now in a row. 11. The Cubs were a first-place team. It looked like they were going to be buyers at the deadline. They're not going to trade Chris Bryant. They're going to try and go for it this year. Now they've lost 11 games in a row. What's happened to the Cubs, Ron?
I thought the Phillies were bad.
They're not Cub level bad, I suppose.
No, I guess not. Did you say club or? It almost sounds like you said club level.
Yeah.
Cub level.
Cub
bad.
level.
I know, but I see that's the problem. I thought the Phillies were bad, and I thought the Cubs were good. I mean, if you looked at the series on paper, say 2 weeks ago, you probably would have put your money on the Cubs.
Chicago now 42-44. The Phillies with the win 41-42. The Phillies are a weird team, man. They should be better than their record. At least I think they should be. I mean, Aton, Harry, and Barrett might tell me otherwise. But
well, they won't, because 2 out of the 3 don't follow baseball at all. They don't want to talk Phillies until Phillies become relevant. Probably
is that Harry and Barrett or Harry and
Aton? Barrett will talk to you about Phillies. He's all in.
I mean, the Phillies are only 4 out in the division, and it's not like the Mets are going to run away with it. They can't score. Yeah, they're going to start to score now. They got some guys back, but
maybe
the NL East, which I thought was going to be the best division in the sport, has been the most mediocre division, maybe in baseball. The Mets are 44-37. Philly is 41-42. The Nationals are 41-43. Atlanta's 41-44. And the Marlins, get this, 37-47. So 10 games under, 8.5 back. But they have the best run differential in the division. They have a plus 22 run differential. But they're in last place. How does that make any sense? As John Sterling would say, you can't predict games. You can't predict baseball, Susan. You can't predict it.
Best division in baseball?
Not anymore.
No, I'm saying who was your pick for the best division in baseball?
NL West.
Yeah.
You got 3 teams that are on pace to win over 100 games.
You got 3 teams that are, all 3 of them are the best records in baseball right now?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, what that does, if you think ahead now to the trading deadline later this month, because of the fact it looks like you're going to get 3 teams from the same division that all make the playoffs, you're talking about a lot of teams that maybe in normal years would be buyers or stand pat that are now going to be sellers. Like if you can't win your division, you're not getting one of the wild card spots because who's ever going to win the West will get in. Plus, the other 2 teams that don't win the West, let's say the Dodgers win the West, the Giants and Padres would be your 2 wild card teams. So you're only talking about a playoff spot available for whoever wins the division, which is why I think we're going to see a lot of teams that are going to be sellers at the deadline. So it could be a really good buyer's market for contending teams.
Sounds like a question you need to ask your guest about an hour from now.
Tim Neverett, Dodgers broadcaster.
I've heard of him.
You might be familiar with some of his work.
Yes.
He will be joining us in the show next hour. Plus, if you're just tuning in, Michael Eaves, UFC anchor for ESPN, SportsCenter anchor. He'll join us. We'll preview UFC 264, Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier, the trilogy fight, biggest pay-per-view of the summer. It's coming your way Saturday night. We'll talk to Michael about that next hour. That wraps it up for Quick Hits right here on the Jake Asman Show. Coming up next, we got to get to what Shohei Ohtani did last night. The man is not human. More of that next here on the program.
The Jake Asman Show.
Steve